she a nympho. I wanna fuck, baby, let me get your info. Let me know what you wanna get yourself into. Yeah, I know that you got some daddy issues.
How's it going, nerds? My name is Linkwood, and in the last episode we were about to reach our conclusion and see if we were going to destroy the world or not, so let's get right back into it. Well, I believe that my judgment was the only truly important piece of information I could offer the professor. I did see his point. A conclusion without any reasoning would be worthless. I, for one, would certainly not accept an answer without any basis or logic to it. Faced with an irrefutable fact, I could only consent. Very well, I will tell you what you wish to know. Excellent. Tell me about the people you met and everything you did today. I refuse. I will only tell you about the prominent individuals and events. Anything more would be a waste of time. Still smiling, the professor nodded in acceptance of my rebuke. Thus, I began to explain. I see. That sounds like quite a fun day you had. I almost wish I was right there with you. The professor listened quietly as I told him of the more interesting people I met. I started with the pervert in the park and his dog with bladder control issues, moving on to the little girl with a fascination for fire. I told him about my DQ buddy, who had already sent me 7 emails by the time I returned to the lab, as well as the sleaze who positioned me, and the wannabe hero who tried to protect me. Once I finished, the professor nodded once more. He spoke briefly and appeared to be in deep thought. Will that suffice, or do you still wish to hear more? No, I think that'll be enough. Understood. If that's the case, I will hand down my judgment of— one more thing though. Stopped mid-sentence once more, I glared at the professor. He appeared to be intent on delaying the inevitable, perhaps due to his fear of what my final answer would be. Whatever the case, I had little choice but to hear him out. Yes, what is it? Hey, no, don't look at me like that. It's relevant, I assure you. I relaxed my expression and the professor sighed in relief. Listen, Q, you've told me about what happened to you today, and you prepared to hand down your judgment, but you still haven't told me about the conclusions you've drawn. Based purely on what you've learned today, what do you think of mankind? What behavior have you observed? Was there anything that defied your expectations? That's what I'm most interested in, even more so than your final judgment. So you wish to hear my unbiased conclusions on humanity as a whole, derived from a single day consisting of few interacting with limited subsets of human, all from a specific section of a single society. Yeah, more or less. Ridiculous. How can you even call yourself a scientist? Based on my own observation, 2 in 3 men are perverts. 100% of young girls soil themselves on a daily basis. Dogs have infinite bladders, video games teach children the value of money. Also, I hesitated to continue. I already knew the professor would react to my next statement. Without a doubt, his response would serve to further delay my judgment. Nonetheless, I continued. When reaching a conclusion, efficiency is not the only important aspect to consider in some cases. Furthermore, criminals aren't guaranteed to re-offend, and shouldn't necessarily be killed to ensure the safety of others. Finally, humans aren't all helpless and ignorant, even if the majority of them are useless sacks of meat. There are still some who can be reasoned with, and are capable of changing their minds. Q, my dear, you really— I do not wish to hear it, old man. Your incessant blathering has already wasted enough of my time. If you wish to weep, do so after I have passed judgment. Yes, you are right. This is not the time to get emotional. Professor, on the verge of tears after learning of my conclusions, wiped his eyes and nose as he sealed his emotions. Alright, I am satisfied. Please, Q, bestow upon me your final judgment, as you command. In accordance with my ultimate directive, and in light of the data presented gathered by me personally, my conclusion is as followed. Humanity is not completely beyond redemption. If we are able to educate the masses and bring about meaningful, widespread change in an expedited manner, mankind may yet be saved. Q, do you really mean— The professor stared at me in disbelief. After being told repeatedly for so many years that humanity needed to either be perished or be controlled, a new answer had finally been presented to him. And this time around, I was not deceiving him. Do not misunderstand. This will be a very difficult, lengthy process, and I can by no means guarantee its success. However, the groundwork is there, and I believe that with enough time, money, and education, humanity can be put on the right path. Yes, of course, I understand perfectly. Whatever you need in order to make it happen, just say the word. Calm yourself. You have little to do with the world's reformation. Or perhaps it would be more accurate to say, you've already done your part. I placed my hand on my chest, directly above the small-scale cold fusion reactor powering my body. First, we will build a much larger, more powerful cold fusion reactor. We will flood the planet with free, clean energy, and finally bring about the demise of fossil fuels. Next, we will focus on supporting current efforts to create synthetic meat products and bring them to the market as soon as possible. Humans do not give up their favorite foods without a fight, but if we can provide them with a cheaper, healthier alternative that looks and tastes exactly the same, they cannot complain. After that, we will focus on biodegradable products that can be disposed of safely, and we will name and shame those who still dare to illegally dump or otherwise dispose of hazardous materials in a dangerous manner. Then we will... Whoa! As the professor and I set in motion our plan to reforming mankind, we begin to walk down a long, difficult path. At the very beginning, nobody would take us seriously. They didn't believe for a moment that cold fusion was even possible, let alone feasible. And our efforts to become involved with more other ambitious projects all ended in rejection. But after many failed attempts and countless rejections, we were at last granted the opportunity to provide that we could make a difference. We were awarded a small grant by the MFSF, the Musk Foundation of Sustainable Future. It was not enough to bring about the revolution we had hoped for. In truth, it paled in comparison to the amount spent on creating me, let alone my predecessors. But it was a start. With the Musk Foundation's financing, we were able to build a small-scale cold fusion reactor. It was not as big as we had planned. In fact, the end product was barely twice the size of the reactor in my chest. Even so, it was enough to make waves in the scientific community. We caught the attention of every skeptic on the planet in one fell swoop. We showed the world that the technology they considered unfeasible was not only possible, but it had been brought to life by an old man in a robot dressed in a school uniform. Media coverage erupted. People who did not know or care about clean energy in the slightest suddenly started paying attention, lured in by the notion of free electricity for everyone. The professor quickly gained the prestige and respect he deserved. The world started to take us seriously, and calling the professor a man who could turn the impossible into reality. First stage of our grand plan had become a resounding success. Hey, Geralt! Hey, Geralt-chan, over here. Sheesh, you're always late when I need you. I quickly walked over to DQ Buddy as I spotted her in the middle of the crowd. My apologies. I was meeting with Mr. Musk, Elon Musk, regarding a new product we've been working on. Well, you said that last time. Honestly, I'm beginning to think that you're not taking this competition seriously. I take every competition seriously, especially those involving prizes in the form of monetary compensation. Science is not cheap. Well, get your game face on and let's go. The other girls are already in the changing room. If we don't hurry, they'll start without us. Understood. Let us change clothes with speed and precision. Whoa. After changing into our stage outfits, my DQ buddy and I revealed ourselves to the crowd outside of the store. Ah, I knew it. I spy a magical girl. Psst. Magical girls are a dime a dozen. Check out the robotic devil queen. Now that's originality. Yeah, right. You're just pervert on that poor girl. It seems like you can never understand the elegance and innocence of a magical girl. The hell did you just say? Now. There's no reason to fight you two. I am the magical girl of peace and love. In my presence, even the most hated of enemies become good friends. All I need to do is cast a magical spell on the two of you and all your anger will fly away. Yes, please cast your spell on me. Hey, I guess I can tolerate that. Yay, Burachet loves guys who are honest with their feelings. Stand still while I cast the spell, okay? Yes! Mira-chan twirled around while waving her wand, all the while reciting spell from the anime character she was imitating. And love. There, don't you feel better now? I do. I feel better than I ever felt before. That's great. What about you? Do you feel like fighting anymore? No, ma'am. Are you filled with peace and love? Yes, I'm filled with peace and love. Perfect. The spell works splendidly. The two of you are complete gentlemen. The two young men smiled and blushed as they looked away from Mira-chan. I am? You think so? Of course. I'll take a real gentleman to accept peace and love into their heart. Now all you need to do is kiss, and the two of you will be back on the right path. Kiss? You mean kiss you? Oh, what are you talking about? Don't be silly. I mean, you need to kiss each other. No, that's a bit... Aren't you full of peace and love? I am, but... Was it in the anime? I said kiss, damn it. I quickly grabbed hold of my pen before she could get herself in trouble again. I dragged her aside and gave her a tissue to clean up her nosebleed, and cooled my hand and placed it on her forehead. Thanks, Oda-san. I got a little worked up out there. It was just whether to see two hot guys standing close to one another. I want to grab them by the shoulders and push their faces together to like calm down. Ugh. I further lowered the temperature of my hand and ran it across the excited girl's face and neck. You need to be more careful. You were already warned at the last show about forcing audience members to kiss. You'll never win the prize money if you get yourself kicked out of the competition, Sasha. Don't call me that. At this moment, Garo-chan and Sasha do not exist. As long as we're in costume, you're Oda-san and I'm Mira-chan. Got it? My name is Q. Your name is Oda-san. Then get back to character and start your stuff. On point once more, Mira-chan returned to her adoring fans with a fresh smile and renewed vigor. They all began to call out her stage name and fawned over her, easily making her into the crowd favorite. Money from the competition may not be sufficient, but if I had to judge whether or not this experience was worthwhile, I wouldn't hesitate to give it my approval. Every day I will learn new things about this world, things that no amount of raw data alone could teach me. And when I am not learning about human society, I am working alongside my creator, striving to build a sustainable future for all of Earth's inhabitants. For a robot like me, who was prepared to slaughter every last human being on Earth, being able to live in peace like this is more than I could have hoped for. The truth is, when I look at the world as it is now, and I think the future that I am helping create, I look forward to seeing what lies in store for us. Even if there are setbacks, we will not surrender without a fight. If there is one thing I have learned about human beings, it is that they continue to push forward, and if they're out to act against them. When I work alongside such helplessly optimistic creatures, I can say with certainty that my choice was the correct one. This may not be the easiest or most efficient path forward, but even so, I'm glad I did not give up on humanity so easily. Aww. Anyway guys, this has been Humanity Must Perish. I'm your host Linkwood, and I hope you have a great day. I know you're beautiful, and I hope you enjoyed. And thank you guys for coming and watching this series with me. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. If you like this video, give it a like. If you dislike this video, still give it a like. Pockable every Tuesday. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, and roll the outro.
There'll be girls across the nation that'll eat this up. Babe, I know that it's you, so but could you bottle it up? Get down to the heart of it, no, it's my heart. Your shit out of your love. Don't make me tell you again. Woo! Love, love, love. Hey. Love, 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 love. I do it for love. Love, love, love.
Do it for. Yeah, do it for. Do it for. I do it for the love, yes I do. So you don't care about the money, well yes it's true. And I'm so blessed to be fulfilling my destiny. All material things could mean less to me. Only thing I ever could need is a Sarah B sample with a dope ass beat. And get the mic check, all the levels right. And if it's good then I'll be here for several nights. Cause the only thing I need is a strong supporting team.